Alright, to do the solenoid, remove your cover, remove your spit back cap, also known as an air baffle, 2 nuts, 8mm. Stihl makes a T-handle. I don't know the part number. I don't take them apart enough to justify it buying one of their expensive T-handles. I like to put the choke on so the nut doesn't go down. Just a little preventative thing there, just in case. It likes to fall down there. Probably a better way, but works for me. Pull that off, grab your nut. Those over there. Alright, this is an Arctic model, so it's a little bit more in depth. There's just more wiring. So to get the carb out, you're going to have to pry this cover out just a little bit, and it'll slide out of there. Come on. So that's not an issue on a regular saw. Then, let's see if we can get that in there. Zoom in. Reach directly back in there. And you're going to pull that off. Then you need a T20. Pull this little guy out. Don't drop your screw. And that just wire just pulls out gently. Then then you want to make sure your gas is, before you start, empty your gas. Which we already did. Nope, forgot about this. Not an issue with the regular saw. So another T20. Then take your gas line off. Just kind of squeeze on it, pull straight down. That's the way I do it. Easy way to get your throttle lever off the carb. Credit goes to Scott, Tree Monkey, on this one. Or maybe it's common knowledge, I don't know. But just stick this down in here, pry open your bottom shutter, and just pull your throttle off, your linkage off. And that's off. And I think that's it. And just carb pulls straight out. And this one already has a white solenoid. You can see that. Get that right here. And you can, here's a black solenoid, white solenoid, black solenoid. Alright, so this carb already has one. So we're going to work on a different carb that needs a white solenoid. So pull that up there. Alright, let's see here. Zoom out a little bit. One-man operation here. Alright, so T20 on the top. There's 2 screws, bolts. And you can see this one has a black solenoid. You can tell the linkage going in is white, and then you have your black solenoid. So that's, if you're shopping for one and you want to see if it has a white solenoid, if you're shopping for a carb, that's where you're looking. the deal with these black solenoids is they are the first generation, and they've been around for a long time, and they seem to be real delicate. You can't, if you're really careful, you can take one out and put it back in, but that's only, even if you're really careful, that's only going to work maybe once, maybe twice. And I'm sure there's somebody, oh, I do it all the time, but we've tried some different tests, and that's about when our luck runs out. And then the saw will have trouble idling, or it won't start, and that's the classic solenoid. So the black solenoid ends in part number 5110, and I think they retail for like 35 bucks or something. Now the white one is stupid expensive. It's like 65 or 75 or just, yeah. But there is a kit that you can buy where you get the solenoid. And by the way, we already did the new orange micron filter. So I would definitely do that anytime. I would do that. They're cheap. They're like $4 or $5, whatever. Easy to change. I would do that. Completely do that. I don't care if you're having problems with your saw or not. I would do that. And then as far as there's a kit you can buy where you get the new version 3 coil, solenoid, and the orange pickup body. And I'll have to find the part number. But again, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but all this stuff is covered under a 2-year emissions warranty, which is mandated by EPA. It's not necessarily, it's not a Stihl thing. So if you get a dealer that, if you're having problems and you're within 2 years, the dealer should be sending you in and getting one of these kits, and they get paid for the labor, and you should not get charged for the parts or labor. If it's outside the 2 years, if I remember right, Stihl, USA, 800 number, I'm not going to say the guy's name, but the guy who I talked to on several occasions, because I double checked. So 2 different people I talked to said that you have the 2-year emissions warranty where the coil, the solenoid, the carb, and I don't know if the pickup body was part of that, but that's covered for 2 years, and that includes labor and parts. Outside of the 2 years, you will have to pay, I think it's labor. So I think you get the parts free, but you have to pay the labor. So I'm doing this video, so if you feel inclined, you can do it yourself. Anyway, all right, that got long-winded. Let's get back here. All right, so next you have this little one. Let's see if we can zoom in there. That's a T10. So these two, T20, this one's T10. And there's a little clip that holds it. Pull that out. And then, actually, before I do that, it's best to just slide, just gently. That guy will slide out. So we'll put that over there. And then this, the actual solenoid turns pretty easy, and it just basically will pry out. Yeah, that one's totally garbage now. I mean, it just does not take much to screw these things up, which is why they came up with a fix, I believe. So there might be a little bit of gas in there. You dump that out. Now we'll compare these two guys. New solenoid comes in a nice little box, sealed. Make sure my hand is clean, because like I said, these things are I don't know, for the price, it's not worth taking a chance, so just treat them with a lot of care. Alright. So, you can see there's 2 O-rings on the white one. And they, you know, side note, they were making a green one, and according to the 2 guys I talked to at Stihl, they scrapped that. So the white one is it. A little bit different. Let's see if we can show that. It's sunny out, and I'm trying to look through the viewfinder and make all this work. Alright, so the directions say to get just a little bit, a drop of oil. So drop of oil, fling that off. And I'm just going to go around it. Done this several times, I know it works. That's all you need. Throw our oil cap back on. And then it just presses in. Real easy. It'll kind of snap into place. And then you just turn it. Alright. Grab your clip. Grab your T10, which is still magnetized. And there you go. Screw it down a little bit, just make sure everything's sitting nice. Don't need a lot of good and tight. There's plenty on this. I think the torque spec is really low. Plug this bad boy back in. Your little notch on the top. Inserts there. There we go. Now, hopefully I don't look stupid and figure out how, oh, yeah, goes just like that. Twists around in place. Line up your holes. And you just pop these wires in. Alright, switch back to your T20. Get that almost down. Get the other one going here. Good and tight. Not too much on these. More than the small one, obviously. But you really don't have to crank them down. Alright, so that's good. Let's throw that back in our bag. So that carb is ready to go. That's kind of my extra carb. And I'm doing it on this saw because I know I had Zeus out there, but there's some proprietary work that Scott did on carb and stuff, so I don't think he wants that to be seen. So Now we will grab our carb and act like it's the other one, which we just put the new solenoid in. Slide it back on. Push your cap in. There's this. I don't like to take them off because then you have to take the top cover off, and yeah, just don't take them off if you don't have to. Alright, T20, little screw. Don't need a lot of torque spec on these. It has to be really low because it's just going into plastic. You really don't need to crank them down hard. You'll just strip out the plastic. So that's good. I actually shouldn't have done that yet. Hook up the fuel line, but we can still do that. Just grab the fuel line, I don't know, 3/4 of an inch down. And goes right on. Get our linkage back on. That's on. Check that. And then, let's see here. I think this goes on second. I think that goes on second for the Arctic model. Just come in here. That, and you can also get, you also want to do the red wire. There we go. Alright, hook this little bag, get this little doodad up. Goes on like so. See that? Yeah, we can see that. Alright. Make sure that's on. And for the Arctic model, let's see here. Let's go like, oh sure, I'm gonna look dumb. No, because that goes like that. What? Does it really go like that? It's the easiest way. That looks. I swear that lettering one's on the other side. Well, it definitely works this way. So we'll do that. Check everything. And put your choke on so your nuts don't fall down into your carb just in case. 8mm again. Get one started. And that's pretty much that. Now you just do the reset. If you have the 4701A coil or 4700s, and then the 4702 coil, you would do the calibration. And again, that's a different video. Otherwise, this video would get way long and that sort of thing. I really think that you should go with the white solenoid because the black one is just so delicate. The only question is can you use a 4701A coil and with a white solenoid and orange pickup body? I believe you can. I believe that because I've done it. And it worked fine. So, but again, there is a kit, and check into that. Check into the kit. I'll try and find that part number and post that in the description. Alrighty.